wasn't it, with the Beatles and the Stones around?
Oh.
Yes, and I think that's what really surprised everybody, because the uniqueness of us being on the Palladium was because we were so different from what was around. The fact we were fresh faced in Australia and being very natural in our approach to music. So it was such a surprise when Tom wrote I'll Never Find Another You for us, and he gave it that slightly commercial flavour with the percussion that he added to our sound. And of course, it went straight to the top of the charts, and everybody was surprised around the world.
Around the world, that's the whole point. It was a huge hit in America and obviously in Australia, where you'd come from.
Yes, and found an audience that loved melodies and rhythms. And
audience that's always been there, that rarely gets catered to appropriately.
That's true.
And,
I want to know the pickling juice that you're using back in Australia, because when you look at this video coming up, actually, all you guys haven't changed that much. But have a look at this. You will love this particular one.
Great.
Driver at the engine, fireman rings the bell, stand and swing the lantern to show that all is well. Rock and roll and riding out along the bay, all bound for morning town, many miles away.
The funny thing is, I have a little 3-year-old grandchild called Gabriel, and at school he's just learned this song. You know, his teacher sings it to them with his guitar.
Right, yes.
It's marvellous.
Everywhere we go.
Yes, that's what we find.
Morningtown
We
Road
see
especially.
little toddlers we see at these shows. We're assuming it'll be the same in England as well.
It'll
yes.
be fabulous. Now, when all this newfound success came, and obviously you continued for a number of years, I gather that you didn't take all that easily to stardom, Judith, at that stage.
Well, it was sort of that I didn't really feel prepared, physically speaking. I felt I was still much too overweight and too sort of, you know, plain to be a star. And I didn't realise I had already become very much accepted by everybody as I was. But I was always trying to be better than I was at that stage and struggling a lot. And I wasn't really that fulfilled. You know, I wanted to do a lot of other sorts of music as well. And so I wasn't terribly happy. I was still in a real state of conflict all the time. So it was difficult. But this time round with these shows, it's been a whole different ballgame.
Yes,
just appreciating everything and sort of realising the value we have in people's lives and that sort of thing.
I get the feeling you're quite sorry this is the farewell tour.
Well, we're all sorry that there can't be more of us.
It is a pity in a way, but you can chance your luck a lot in this business, as you know. I mean, and you can say, well, the music's been around for, you know, for 30-odd years. I mean, you know, why don't you go out and keep presenting it, you know, physically? But
is it more from that point of view, or just that you all want to do other things and lead your life and
it's more than
attend to your business?
We do. We have family interests, of course, and business interests. And to do this when you're not a permanent band, which we're not, you know, to keep a reunion going, it would not be appropriate for us. And it's really the reunion that has to come to an end in terms of the concert touring, because we must get back and lead our own lives. But
so what are you going to do in your own lives then when you go back? Judith, what will you be doing?
I'd still like to be singing. Yes, I don't know what opportunity I'll have, but I'd love to make another album and maybe do some touring later on. But the boys all have much more sort of business involvements, you know.
Are you in business, Athol, back
home? Yeah, so, well, I've got a nice little award-winning winery back home. Or vineyard, I should say. I don't own the winery, but I've got a little vineyard. And,
why didn't you bring us some to taste, for goodness sake?
Well, I've got a couple back in my room. I'll send some over to you. No, actually, I will do that. I've got some here with me just as a sample.
We can taste it in the kitchen and give our judgment on it. That would be marvellous. Well, obviously, we wish you well, because you've got a hot-footed now to Edinburgh tonight?
Tonight, we're off to do our first show.
And then where else are you
Glasgow,
going to?
And then Newcastle, down to London.